Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning. So we're on live streaming already, and I'll start the recording now. So I had some unfortunate news. Paula's contacted us this morning to say that she's quite unwell, and thought she wouldn't do a very good job being sick as she is. So I'm stepping in to lead the sadhana in place of Paula this morning. I'll try to mention a few things that Paula does and says. Although I haven't been attending the White Tar practices that she leads, I know Dekyi-Lee does regularly, and Monashi does occasionally. So, and I think one of the things that Paula emphasizes is the color meditation, which we haven't received commentary on yet. So I was thinking we wouldn't do that. We would follow with what we have received commentary on so far this retreat, focusing on the mantra citation and the deity of sound. So the deity of emptiness to start with, the deity of sound, the deity of mantra, and the fire visualization. Dekyi, do you have anything you'd like to add to start with that you can think of that Paula does? So,
Um, I, I guess I was the query of whether Geshe would be giving that commentary today, and it'd be nice to actually experience
yeah,
those layers.
I think so.
So I don't know if I was leading it, I would be giving everyone an idea of what that could be, so that
We can
when the
certainly read
commentary
through it.
was
Yeah, we can
so
certainly
when the
read through it.
commentary was there, it was we'd have some idea of what he's talking about.
Yeah, we can certainly read through it because we've been skipping over that.
Yeah.
And then there's the Amitabha's visualization that I think she spends some time with. I know that you've mentioned before you find that part interesting.
Yeah, and she spends more time on the retrieving lost life force.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that. What life force is. Um, there are practices where you can do recovery of life force, and Amitabha is one of them. Probably one of the most explicit. Um, so that we have the life energy, and there are times when we can lose our life energy. It can be taken from us by people practicing black magic. It can also fly away from us when we experience periods of great trauma. It will go away from us in order to protect the life force. And then sometimes it can get a bit lost and be difficult for it to find its way back to us. And some practices would call this soul retrieval. And the Tibetan Buddhist language isn't quite like that. There's Laogog and Segug. So Laogog would be retrieval of life force, and Segug would be retrieval of long life. But the idea is, if we go through periods of depression or something quite traumatic happens, a situation where we don't feel like we're living according to our purpose. Our life force may drift away, or but he's suddenly kind of like shocked out of us, and then it's not accessible to us. So what Amitabha's practiced. So go ahead, Dekyi-Lee.
Yeah, just one example. I worked with a man who was a manager of a casino in Winnipeg. He had intestinal cancer. And in the work that we did, it ends up that he had to deal with, he was a real good guy, had to deal with the mafia there. And literally, when we found out where he went, there was a tree outside that he energetically had to had to go to basically survive this job. And by doing that, and his life force moving out there, it caused the cancer. And once he kind of called it back after he quit his job, then he's healed himself.
Mm. Yeah. So Matthias is helping us here to retrieve our life force. So not only retrieving our own personal life force, but also gathering in the the purity and energy and power of all of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the pure five elements that exist in the universe. So it also mentions the gathering life force of all sentient beings, which can sound a little bit strange. Geshe said that's just a visualization, and what it is it's a way of reminding ourselves, reminding our own energy that there's this abundant, vital life force that is there, and we want to be inspired by that and have so. Amitais can bring our life force back into us through this visualization, but we also want to become somebody where our life force is at home. So living in a way that is fulfilling our purpose. So in a sense, let's think about bodhicitta then, um, making our life really, really, really meaningful. This will draw our life force, and then our life becomes a really good container for our life force. Yeah.
Dave, excuse me, sorry. Could you start the restream, please?
The restream started.
Thank you.
One other thing, maybe before we get started, so we don't have to do this in the middle. The artist that Paula has chosen for her meditation subject on the of Tara, and I'll share the screen with this image. So this Tara here is done by an artist who lives in the Shetlands. His vision has degenerated to the point where initially he stopped painting tankas in the traditional way and moved to doing tankas electronically so that he could use the computer to do the magnification so that he could do his art that way. His vision is now degenerated to the point where he can't do this anymore. In his website that this has been taken from, he doesn't have the capacity to maintain it, and so his plan is to shut it down very early in January. Paula didn't realize that until we mentioned it to her a couple of days ago, and she's thinking, wouldn't it be good if we could support his website a little bit to keep it going for at least maybe another year? And so she's talked to him. She said that he's too humble. He's despite the vision problem, he's doing a lot of retreat. So he lives alone in the Shetlands. He's doing a lot of retreat, and he's actually very happy. And he gave us a 7 megabyte, a very high resolution of Tara. When he heard that we were doing retreat, he was very inspired by that. So Manoshi's put a link in the chat. He needs £250. That might be for a little while, more than a year, perhaps. Anyway, that's what he's mentioned as a way to keep his website going for a while. So just put a link for that there. One thing I noticed, this is a very accurate rendition of White Tara. As we can see here, when we do the visualization of the colors, there's a kind of like an egg-shaped multiple layers of light that surrounds us. And these are the colors, starting with white, yellow, red, blue, green, and then sometimes translated as brown, sometimes translated as purple. You see the color there. And this forms, this is the wish fulfilling, part of the wish fulfilling wheel. The other part of the wish fulfilling wheel is the mantra Maybe we'll go through that a little bit again before we start so we don't have to interrupt ourselves, so we can maintain our concentration. So I'll stop sharing this. Where's the control for that? And then I'll share the mantra wheel. Okay. So as a tiny review, we start the sadhana, we start the, let's say, of course, the preamble of bodhicitta and refuge and receiving the blessings, and then we meditate on emptiness. So we start with what is called in the Kriya Tantra, the deity of the emptiness. So we meditate on emptiness, and then out of emptiness comes sound, the sound of the mantra. And that fills our entire experience is this sound of the mantra. And then this resolves into the mantra Vaitara, but numberless mantras, like a great snowfall of mantras moving in every direction, filling the entirety of space. And then these mantras gradually coalesce into a single mantra. And then from that, we take form, starting with a lotus. From a simple palm comes lotus, then from comes a moon, and then our mind takes the form of a tam. So the tam is here in the very center. This is how we build out the visualization, starting from the tam here in the center. Then there is the mantra of increase. So this is the Mama Ayu Punya Janya Pushtamun. It is here in the center, just around the tam. Then there's the hub and the spokes. And this is the mantra of Tara, the usual, the Om Tari Tutari Turi Swaha is here without the Om. And then there's the wish fulfilling wheel continues with the consonants. Sorry, the syllables here going this way, and then the consonants, and then the heart mantra dependent relation. So this all then we can do a visualization of fire. So around this, then there are wisdom flames. And we'll also focus our concentration on imagining these wisdom flames surrounding all of the mantras. As we recite the mantra, we visualize the fire. And this fire representing wisdom then is the most effective of purifications, burning away all of our negativities, obstacles, negative karma. Yeah. So does anybody have anything they want to add before we get started? Okay. So we'll start with the sadhana. So this is the promise to compose. They're traditionally not recited during a sadhana practice. So we start with refuge. So the visualization at this point, we can start with a visualization, which is a four-petaled lotus. In the center is our root guru and all of the lineage lamas, the coming together of all of our gurus. On the right-hand side, the gurus is Buddha Shakyamuni and all the Buddhas. On the left-hand side is the Sangha. So Annie yesterday mentioned all of the great Panditas of India and Tibet. This would also include the 8 great bodhisattvas. In the back is all of the holy Dharma, radiating light. In the front is white Tara, who also represents the coming together of all of the objects of refuge. This is our visualization. We imagine this in front of us. We think this is the coming together of everything that inspires us. Having one unified essence. And we have to understand that they are so pleased with us for being here, bringing to this practice our bodhicitta, a wish to benefit all sentient beings, which of course includes ourselves. And we can feel like we have a connection here. Like we know that they see us. We see Tara and the Gurus and Buddhas and all the Bodhisattvas, Sangha, the Arya Sangha. We see them and we know that they see us. So we have this eye-level connection. Even though this is kind of an awesome experience to be in the presence of so many holy beings, we can feel completely comfortable and at ease and safe. Incredibly safe, actually. This is refuge. So if we were sitting at a peaceful cafe across from White Tara, feeling completely at ease, like we were with a dear, completely trusted friend, what might we say about our aspirations and about our concerns, our fears? Imagine having a brief conversation right here now with Tara. This is a kind of an experiential way of taking refuge. And imagine that Tara is really here for us as a very dear, trusted, and powerful, be very peaceful, supporting, nurturing, but powerful friend that we can completely rely upon. So then, as we ease into the sadhana, we can think of part of this conversation with Tara is our own feelings about suffering in the world and our wish to respond to the suffering with skillful action and asking Tara for help in this. She knows what to do. Tara, please help us to discover what to do and to gradually become exactly like you. So now we start the text. I and all living beings, the extensive space from today on until the essence of enlightenment is achieved, take refuge in the glorious holy gurus. Take refuge in the fully accomplished Buddhas. Take refuge in the holy Dharma. Take refuge in the Supreme Assembly. I take refuge in the Venerable Lady White Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel, and the complete entourage of deities. And as we say this, they are really very, very pleased. We now have this connection, and that means that they're able to help. So they're so pleased, and they shower upon us waves of inspiring strength in the form of lights and nectars, like rain falling into a lake, not only for ourselves, but for all beings. We can visualize this as we recite this again. I and all living beings, as extensive as space, from today on until the essence of enlightenment is achieved, take refuge in the glorious holy gurus. Take refuge in the fully accomplished Buddhas. Take refuge in the holy Dharma. Take refuge in the Supreme Assembly. I take refuge in the Venerable Lady White Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel, and the complete entourage of deities. I and all living beings as extensive as space, from today on until the essence of enlightenment is achieved, take refuge in the glorious holy gurus. Take refuge in the fully accomplished Buddhas. Take refuge in the holy Dharma. Take refuge in the Supreme Assembly. I take refuge in the Venerable Lady White Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel, and the complete entourage of deities. So Geshe Sonam mentioned that we can visualize ourselves and all sentient beings around us, and whatever feeling of refuge, of concerns we have, and a an experienced, felt sense of safety and safe direction that is available to us here right now with the objects of refuge in our visualization. We share that, and we imagine that all sentient beings are also so moved to discover within their experience, energetically, maybe subtly, this experience of refuge with White Tara. And so all sentient beings are so moved, their minds becoming virtuous and clean, clear. And Tara, all the gurus, all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, nature of Tara, showering down upon them. We visualize this, waves of inspiring strength in the form of lights and nectars, feeling and purifying, pacifying, blessing the minds of all sentient beings. I prostrate and take refuge in the Holy Guru and three precious jewels. Please bestow your blessings on my mind stream. In order to attain the fully accomplished state of a Buddha for the sake of all living beings, I will enter into the sadhana of White Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel. In order to attain the fully accomplished state of a Buddha for the sake of all living beings, I will enter into the sadhana of White Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel. In order to attain the fully accomplished state of a Buddha for the sake of all living beings, I will enter into the sadhana of White Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel. So here we're saying we'll enter into the means of accomplishing, the means of achieving this practice of actually ourselves becoming White Tara. And then we do a brief self-generation of Tara. If we've received Highest Yoga Tantra or a full 2-day great empowerment of Kriya Tantra, having received a White Tara initiation with those prerequisites, we can do a self-generation where we imagine ourselves not having a solid body like we're accustomed to, but having a body that we know is empty of inherent existence, is made of light, and it has all the qualities of White Tara. Otherwise, without those prerequisites, we can visualize White Tara in front of us or above the crown of our heads. And now we imagine dissolving into emptiness. So all of the objects of refuge that we visualized on the 4-petal lotus now dissolve into light. And this light showers down into us, and we become one in essence. We can remind ourselves that the ultimate nature of all of the objects of refuge, focusing particularly on White Tara, the ultimate nature of White Tara and the ultimate nature of ourselves is indistinguishably one. This is the reality of the ultimate nature of phenomena. We become indistinguishably one with White Tara, which is the coming together of all objects of refuge. Guru, Buddha, White Tara. Dharma is big and vast and spacious and at peace. And then we see ourselves as White Tara. This is just a brief self-generation, so we won't go into all the details right now. But now we see ourselves as White Tara, and this then means that we can bless offerings very effectively. So if we don't have offerings in front of us, if we haven't managed to do that this morning, we can imagine offerings made in other Dharma centers or in the great monasteries. Om Vajra Amrita Kundali Hana Hana Hum Pe. Om Svabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Svabhava Shuddhoham. Everything dissolves into emptiness. All the offerings. Out of emptiness, or you could say within emptiness, from 8 syllables appear spacious, extensive, jeweled vessels, inside of which the syllables Om transform into different substances, offering substances which are clear, unobstructed, and as extensive as space. So here we're blessing, we're generating these offerings as clear, unobstructed, and as extensive as space. Om Argam Ahum, Om Bhadyam Ahum, Om Pushpe Ahum, Om Dupe Ahum, Om Aloke Ahum, Om Gande Ahum, Om Naividya Ahum, Om Shabda Ahum. Here's a little representation of the offerings. So now we invite White Tara in front of us. I have instantly become the Venerable Tara. The syllable Tam at my heart emanates rays of light, inviting from her Potala abode the Lady Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel, surrounded by the assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to the space above. The light dissolves back into my heart. Gods and Asuras with her crowns bow down to your lotus feet. I prostrate to the Mother Tara, the one who rescues from all needs. Gods and Asuras with her crowns bow down to your lotus feet. I prostrate to the Mother Tara, the one who rescues from all needs. Gods and Asuras bow down with her crowns at your lotus feet. I prostrate to the Mother Tara, the one who rescues from all needs. So now we offer. And so we'll do it, putting them all together in one phrase. Om Guru Arya Tara Saparivara Argam Bhadyam Pibe Dube Aloke Gande Nirvidaya Shabda Pratista Hum Swa. So we've invited Tara here in front of us, and now we've through this exalted guest, we've made these exalted offerings, clear and filling the vastness of space. So this is actually the text of taking the Bodhisattva vows during initiation. So we can imagine we are retaking our vows by reciting this. I take refuge in the 3 jewels. I regret all my unwholesome deeds. I rejoice in the merit of all beings. I will hold bodhicitta until enlightenment. I take refuge until complete enlightenment in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. In order to fulfill the purpose of myself and others, I journeyed the mind of enlightenment. Having journeyed the mind of enlightenment, I invite all living beings as my guests. I will remain in this excellent conduct of the Bodhisattvas. Thereby may I achieve the state of a Buddha in order to benefit all living beings. So imagine that we are saying this to Tara and to all the assemblies and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas around White Tara. So we are in the presence And we are saying this out loud to White Heart and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And this is how we are taking the vows again. I take refuge in the three jewels. I regret all my unwholesome deeds. I rejoice in the merit of all beings. I will hold bodhicitta until enlightenment. I take refuge until complete enlightenment in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. In order to fulfill the purpose of myself and others, I generate the mind of enlightenment. Having generated the mind of enlightenment, I invite all living beings as my guests. I will remain in this excellent conduct of the Bodhisattvas. Thereby may I achieve the state of a Buddha in order to benefit all living beings. I take refuge in the three jewels. I regret all my unwholesome deeds. I rejoice in the merit of all beings. I will hold bodhicitta until enlightenment. I take refuge until complete enlightenment in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. In order to fulfill the purpose of myself and others, I generate the mind of enlightenment. Having generated the mind of enlightenment, I invite all living beings as my guests. I remain in this excellent conduct of the Bodhisattvas. Thereby may I achieve the state of a Buddha in order to benefit all living beings. May all living beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all living beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all living beings be endowed with happiness that is free from suffering. May all living beings remain in a state of equanimity, free of attachment for those they hold close and aversion for those they keep distant. Now we do the main practice of becoming Vaitara, starting with the meditation on emptiness. So we'll spend a little bit of time doing this. Om Svabhava Shuddha Sarva Dharma Svabhava Shuddhoham. So this reminds us that we ourselves and all phenomena have no inherent existence. Imagine that we become empty of inherent existence. Our experience is one of this absence of inherent existence of ourself and all phenomena. This absence takes the aspect of vast spaciousness. So we practice Tantra from within emptiness. We can remind ourselves it is never concrete and appearing to be inherently existence. We want to practice the entire sadhana from within emptiness, from within this absence of inherent existence. The whole practice becomes vast and spacious. One time Paula said that really it's very important to do this meditation on emptiness here, and then the words of the sadhana and the meanings and the actions of sadhana become like small birds flying through this vast space of emptiness. Primary experience is this vastness and spaciousness, and the meaning undisturbing this spacious emptiness. We come to hear the mantra of Tara, still within emptiness. This emptiness is appearing now as the sound of Tara's mantra. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Mama Ayu Punya Janya Pushtam Kuri Swaha. This entirety of space, which is the absence of inherent existence, is resonating, vibrating with the sound of this mantra of White Tara. So we meditate on just hearing this sound, and the entirety of our experience, all of reality, is only this sound of mantra within the absence of inherent existence of all phenomena. We look within emptiness. Now we notice emptiness has an appearance aspect of the mantra. So we're starting now have a visual experience of the mantra, but countless mantras of White Tara. The entirety of space is only these mantras of White Tara, like a snowfall, but not just gently falling down, swirling around in every direction. The entirety of space filled with mantra of Tara, visualized and in sound. Meditate on this. This is the visual aspect within emptiness is light. Light that has the nature of the, and we can see the mantras, but it is light. And it is emptiness. Now we notice that these mantras, all of which lack inherent existence, are coalescing into a single mantra of Vaitara. Om Tare Tutare Ture Mama Ayu Punya Dhyana Pushtam Kuriya Swaha. I'm not sure exactly how this transitions, but we now move into the self-generation. So perhaps all of this, reminding ourselves of emptiness once again, that all of this is within emptiness. And so from emptiness comes the syllable Pam, comes a white lotus, and from A Mundis, on top of which is my own consciousness. Now, in the form of a white syllable Tam, emanating rays of light, which benefit all sentient beings. So still within emptiness, our consciousness lacking inherent existence, taking the form of a white Tam, lacking inherent existence, emanating rays of light to all sentient beings, purifying, inspiring, providing waves of inspiring strength, all within this experience of the absence of inherent existence of all phenomena, which of course means that cause and effect has room to act. So now we as White Tara, this isn't just us ordinary mind now. This is the mind of White Tara as ourselves, as this white letter Tam. So we can think, since we are white Tara now as this letter Tam, there are no constraints in how we can benefit all sentient beings. No constraints from our side. This light collects back, and I become the venerable wish-fulfilling wheel, with a white body, one face, and two arms. My right hand is in the gesture of supreme giving. My left hand is at my heart and holds between thumb and ring finger the stem of an upala flower that blossoms at the level of my ear. It has three blossoms, the one in the center in full bloom, the right one having already blossomed and gone to fruit, and the left one not yet opened. These symbolize the Buddhas of the three times. I am adorned with jeweled ornaments and clad in various variety of silken garments. My upright body is supported by a moon disk, and I am seated in the Vajra position. And my crown is a white Om, at my throat a red Ah, at my heart a blue Hum. At my heart on a moon disk is the white syllable Tam, which emanates rays of light, inviting from Potala Buddha field in the south, the venerable wish-fulfilling wheel surrounded by an assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So again, although we are now meditating on our body, we have to remind ourselves it has no inherent existence. It is made entirely of wisdom, light, and we are actually white Tara within this emptiness. All of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and white Tara dissolve into us, and we do this short mantra. Ja means all the blessings, all of the inspiring strength comes to us. It becomes one with us. It becomes inseparable. Oh, and very stable. They become non-dual. So this means we and them become non-dual. Again, rays of light emanate from the syllable at my heart, inviting the initiating deities. So these are the representatives of the five Buddha families. And in particular, we can visualize Amitabha, who is in the Lotus family, and we, like white Tara, are in the Lotus family. So we make a request, please bestow on me the initiation. Om Sarva Tathagata Abhishekata Samaya Shriye Aham. So we're showered with inspiring, with nectar, with initiating nectar. And this fills our body completely. And some of this even overflows on the crown of our head. My body is filled, purifying all stains. The excess nectar overflowing from my crown transforms into Buddha Amitabha. So now we bless the offerings. And now these offerings, previously the offerings were made to the field of accumulation. And now these offerings will be made to ourselves within the sphere of emptiness as white Tara. Out of emptiness from 8 Om syllables appear spacious, extensive jeweled vases, vessels, inside of which the syllables Om transform into different offering substances, which are clear, unobstructed, and as extensive as space. Om Argam Ahum, Om Padyam Ahum, Om Pushpe Ahum, Om Dupe Ahum, Om Aloke Ahum, Om Gande Ahum, Om Naividya Ahum, Om Shabda Ahum. This time we'll do each offering individually. So that means we do Pargam first, and then next time we do Padyam, and then next time we do Pupi, like that. Om Ayatara Saparivara Argam Pratistahum Swaha. Om Ayatara Saparivare Padyam Pratistahum Swaha. Om Ayatara Sapare Vare Pe Pratita Hum Swaha. Om Ayatara Sapare Vare Pe Pratita Hum Swaha. Om Ayatara Sapare Vare Aloke Pratita Hum Swaha. Om Ayatara Sabhare Vara Gandhe Pratistha Hum Swaha. Om Ayatara Sabhare Vara Nivindhya Pratistha Hum Swaha. Om Ayatara Sabhare Vara Shabda Pratistha Hum Swaha. I prostrate to Mother Tara, the liberator of beings from existence, the one who liberates from the 8 worldly fears with two tare, freeing from all illness with ture, all the wisdom and activities of compassion of the extensive Buddhas appearing in the form of the extremely beautiful goddess, bestowing longevity and supreme attainments to a great number of beings. I prostrate to the one who is extremely white and holds Nupala in her hand. At the heart center of myself, visualized as Arya White Tara, is an 8-spoked wheel with a hub and 3 rims. At the center on a moon disk is my own mind as a white thumb encircled by the mantra for increase. So again, all of this is within the absence of inherent existence of all phenomena. We ourselves being empty of inherent existence, taking the aspect of White Tara. Thumb encircled by the mantra for increase. Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Mama Ayu Punya Jnana Pushtam Kuruye Swaha. So this is in the very central circle around the letter Tam. Again, all of this is made out of light. And this mantra has the meaning, the vibration of increasing life, merit, and wisdom. This is our nature. And the 8 spokes around this, on the spokes. So the Tam and the increasing mantra are in the center, and then there are spokes, and on each spoke is one of the syllables of Tara. So the Tare Tu Tare, Swaha, without the Om. And then around that, on the inner rim, are clockwise the mantra, the syllables. Om, ah, e, u, re, le, I, o, swaha. On the next rim, going outwards, are the consonants arranged clockwise. Om, kaka, gaga, nga, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ta, 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 da, na, ta, ta, da, da, na, pa, pa, ba, ba, ma, yara, wala, shaka, saha, kya, swaha. And on the outer rim is the mantra of the essence of dependent arising, arranged clockwise. Om ye Dharma hetu prabhava hetum deshan tada gata yavadatation chayo niroda evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. This seed syllable, my own mind, and all the letters of the mantras are in the nature of light, wisdom light. Dewdrops of nectar stream forth from the letters. So we will recite the colors so we know what we're getting into. But first of all, we do the visualization of Amitabha. So at my crown is the Lord of the Family, Lord Amitayus. So previously we had Amitabha on our crown, and now emphasizing infinite life, we can understand that Amitabha is taking the aspect of Lord Amitayus. Red in color, with one face and 2 arms, holding a golden vase filled with the nectar of immortality. In the gesture of meditative equipoise, to his 2 hands folded on his lap, and on top of those is this amazing vase. Clad in silk and jeweled ornaments, he sits in the Vajra position. He is adorned at the heart with a red syllable Kri, from which hook-like rays of light emanate in all 10 directions, collecting all my life energies that have been robbed, stolen, or caused to be taken away or scattered by human and non-human beings, as well as the essence of the five great elements and the life energies and merits of all living beings, the brilliance and dignity of the three worlds, and so forth. All of the wealth and goodness of existence and the blessings of the body, speech, and goodness of existence, of body, speech, or mind of the Guru, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas are collected back into the form of nectar and rays of light in different colors and absorbed into the vase in Amitayus's hands. By this absorption, the white nectar overflows and enters into my crown opening, absorbing into the wheel, the mantra, and the seed syllable at my heart. From that, rays of nectar flow down, filling my entire body. My outer body is washed. The accumulations of unwholesome imprints and obscurations, illnesses, disturbances, and obstacles of life are cleansed and purified, thus restoring my life energies, merits, and broken vows and commitments. I attain the city of immortality. So we meditate on this. All of this is happening within the apprehension aspect of emptiness. All of this is emptiness appearing as Amitayus, as all of our life energies, and as ourselves as White Tara. And all these so-called negativities and so on, we have to realize all are also empty of inherent existence, and so are so easily dispelled by the power and blessings of Amitayus and White Tara. We can feel that we ourselves as White Tara, made of wisdom light, are a perfect container for these vast life energies, this vast purity of the five elements, the brilliance and dignity of the three worlds. As White Tara here ourselves now, this appearance aspect of emptiness, infused with bodhicitta, is the perfect container for immortal life and merit and wisdom. And Amitayus is filling us up with this. You now imagine, we'll do the recitation of the mantra, of increasing mantra of White Tara, the special mantra of White Tara. But imagine the entire Chinta chakra, the Wusha-filling wheel of the Tam surrounded by White Tara's mantra, so surrounded by Tara's mantra, then encircled by the syllables, consonants, and the heart mantra dependent relation. All of this is surrounded by a wheel of fire, wisdom fire. And this wisdom fire consumes all negativity. Om Dhare Dure Mama Ayu Punya Jana Pushtum Kuriye Swaha. Om Dhare Dure Mama Ayu Punya Jana Pushtum Kuriye Swaha. Om Dhare Dure Mama Ayu Punya Jana Pushtum Kuriye Swaha. Om Dhare Dure Swaha. Om Dhare Dure Swaha. Om Dhare Dure. Oh, sorry. Om Dhare Dure Mama Ayu Punya Jana Pushtum Kuriye Swaha. Om Dhare Dure Mama Ayu Punya Jana Pushtum Kuriye Swaha. Om Dhare Dure Mama Ayu Punya Jana Pushtum Kuriye Swaha. So visualizing this fire purifying everything into wisdom. We are like Tara, we can imagine as these wisdom flames remove all obstacles, negative karma, illness, and obstructions, and so forth, all confusion. This is making emptiness even more vivid to us. This is the increasing of wisdom. So this mantra is actually the increasing of wisdom, but also this wisdom creates space for great, abundant, pure prosperity, as well as vital long life. Mama Ayapunya Jnana Pushtam Kuriye Swaha. So now we'll continue with the sadhana and the visualizations there. Outside of myself is a white wheel made of space iron with space inside, like two hats joined together. Or you could say two big symbols joined together. The 10 spokes above, below, and in the 8 directions have very sharp points turning clockwise at an extremely fast speed, thereby cutting into pieces all obstacles. Tongues of flames of light rays burn and swirl, and thus all disturbing forces are completely burnt like feathers burnt in fire. It burnt into emptiness, becoming completely non-existent, even in name. Again from the wheel and the mantras at my heart, rays of light, white light, emanate, filling my entire body, pacifying all illness, disturbances, obstructions, and unwholesome imprints, and all obstacles to life. The rays of light go out of the pores of my body and form a white circle of light outside of myself, bringing about the accomplishment of all peaceful activities. So this is the first layer. Again, yellow rays of light emanate, filling my body, bringing about an increase of life, merit, and wisdoms of hearing, contemplation, and meditation. The light radiates out, forming a yellow circle outside the white circle, bringing about the accomplishment of the activities of increase. Red rays of light emanate, endowing me with the power and energy to bring the 3 worlds under my control. The light radiates out from forming a red circle outside the yellow circle, bringing about the accomplishment of the activities of control. Again, dark blue rays of light emanate, endowing with me the power and energy to achieve all activities of destruction. The lights radiate out, forming a blue circle outside the red circle, bringing about the accomplishment of the activities of destruction. Again, green rays of light emanate, endowing me with the power to achieve all enlightened activities. Lights radiate out, forming a circle of green light outside of the blue circle, bringing about the accomplishment of all enlightened activities. Again, brown rays of light emanate, bringing about stability of the power of the activities and attainments. The lights radiate out, forming a browner circle outside the green circle, bringing about stability. All these 6 circles are egg-shaped and of one single piece, very hard and strong, and cannot be destroyed even by the winds at the end of existence. All of the space between each circle is filled with fresh, newly blossomed blue upala flowers, soft and tender. Having generated yourself in the form of Lady Tara, hold yourself in this form while generating the protective wheel and 6 light circles. Keep your mind fixed on this visualization. And think, yes, with no doubt, we are White Tara, so this is what White Tara is. And either recite the mantra or hold the winds according to your wish. So Geshe will probably give his commentary on this, holding the winds. This should be done according to the oral instructions. When the recitation is finished, recite the 100-syllable mantra and cleanse yourself of errors and excess emissions. Make offerings and praises. So we will be holding this visualization of the 6 wheels. White, pacification; yellow, increase; red, power and control; blue, destruction; green, enlightened activities; and brown or purple, stabilization. We imagine that this is White Tara, we are White Tara. All of this is just an appearance aspect within the absence of inherent existence of all phenomena, which of course means that all of this is, there's space for all of this to happen. Om Tari Tutari Turi Soha, Om Tari Tutari Turi Soha, Om Tari Tutari Turi Soha, Om Tari Tutari Turi Soha. Om Dare, Du Dare, Du Re Swaha. Om Dare, Du Dare, Du Re Swaha. Om Dare, Du Dare, Du Re Swaha. We'll do the purification mantra. So this is in case we've made any mistakes in our practice. We're purifying these mistakes here now. Om Padma Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Padma Sattva Tenopatishta Drido Me Bhava Sutosho Me Bhava Suposho Me Bhava Anarakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Prayacha Sarva Kama Sutra Me Shitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Padma Mame Munsa Padma Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. I needed a magnificent translation yesterday, but the essence of the meaning of this mantra is, please don't give up on me, please purify me, and always stay with me. I'm in this game, and I'm in for the long haul, so please stay with me and don't give up on me, and keep me pure and going. Om Padmasava Samaya Manupalaya Padmasava Tenopatita Drino Me Bhava Sudoshyo Me Bhava Suposho Me Bhava Arakto Me Bhava Sarvasiddhi Me Prayata Savakama Sitan Me Sitam Srim Kuruham Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Padma Mame Munsa Padma Bhava Masmasava Ahum Pe. Om Padmasava Samaya Manubhalaya Padmasava Tenovatita Dino Me Bhava Subhosho Me Bhava Subhosho Me Bhava Anarakta Me Bhava Sarvasiddhi Me Praita Savakamasitin Me Sitam Shrim Kuroham Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Padma Mame Munsa Padma Bhava Mahasama Sadva Ahum Be. Whatever mistakes I may have made because of not knowing or lacking ability or not finding the proper materials, please be patient with these. So again, we make offerings. This time we'll do it as one line. Om Aryatara Sapare Vara Argam Bhadyam Pipe Dube Aloke Gande Naividya Shabda Pratistaham Swaha. All the wisdom and activities of compassion of the extensive Buddhas, appearing in the form of the extremely beautiful goddess, bestowing longevity and supreme attainments to a great number of beings, I praise the one who is extremely white and holds an upala in her hand. Through the merit collected by this practice, may I quickly attain the state of the wish-fulfilling wheel, and may I lead all living beings without exception to her state of enlightenment, thus dedicating the roots of merit. Dissolution. From the syllable of my heart, rays of light emanate, all the container and contained dissolve into light and absorbed into the brown circle, and then into the green circle, and then into the blue circle, and then into the red circle, and then into the yellow circle, and then into the white circle. Thus dissolving from the outer into the inner. Protective wheel also dissolves into me. I absorb into the wheel in my heart, the wheel into the mantra wings, the rings into the tongue, which dissolves by stages into emptiness, back into emptiness. Out of emptiness, I arise as the Lady Tara, marked at the crown with an Om, at the throat with an Ah, and at the heart with a Hum. Through the merit collected by this practice, May I attain the state of Venerable Tara and lead all living beings without exception to her state of enlightenment. When the signs of untimely death appear, by instantly seeing the form of the wish-fulfilling wheel, the power of the Lord of Death is eliminated. May I swiftly attain the state of a knowledge holder of immortality. Through the roots of merit accumulated by this meditation, recitation, praises, and offerings to the Venerable Tara, may all obstacles, interferences, evils, and disturbances be pacified. May I enjoy the glory of immortality. By merely seeing your body, hearing your speech, and remembering you, all signs of untimely death are destroyed. In all my lifetimes, may I be guided by the Venerable Tara, and may I be able to enjoy the holy Dharma. May I swiftly attain the activities of pacification, increase, power, and destruction, the 8 siddhis, and so forth. May I quickly attain all the common and supreme attainments, and may all my hope and wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Whoever holds the sweet dew of nectar of immortality, the sadhana, the white upala flower, in the palm of their hands respectively, Arya Tara will rejoice in that fortunate being. And we'll do a few other dedication prayers. For actualized bodhicitta, may the precious supreme bodhicitta not yet born arise, and may that arisen not decline but increase more and more. Chang Chup Sim Chogrim Poji Ma Ke Pa Nam Ge Yurchi Ye Pa Nyam Par Me Pa Yi Gong Ne Gong De Pe War Sho. May the precious view of emptiness not yet born arise, and may that arisen not decline but increase more and more. Tong Yi Da Wa Rinpoche Ma Ke Pa Nam Ge Yurchi Ye Pa Nyam Par Me Par Yi Gong Ne Gong Du Be War Sho. Samsara and nirvana lack even an atom of inherent existence, and cause and effect independent arising are unbetraying. I seek your blessings, and I dedicate to discern the meaning of Nagarjuna's thought. These two are mutually complementary and not contradictory. So this is an extract from the King of Prayers. You could say the essence of the King of Prayers. First verse is the meditation on emptiness, the nature of reality, which allows dedications to bear fruit. And the second verse is the visualization of all of the aspects. And the King of Prayers, which is actually also an extract from the Avatamsaka Sutra, Flower Ornament Sutra, filling oceans of worlds with our activities. I fully dedicate all these virtues to be able to train just like the hero Manjufri who knows reality, and just like Samanta Bhadra as well. I fully dedicate all my roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the gone beyond victorious ones of the 3 times in order to have good conduct. So imagine all of the prayers of the King of Prayers now being accomplished. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Gangri Rawe Korwi Jingam Dir Pendang Dewa Mali Jungwe Ne Chenrezig Wang Tenzin Gyatso Yi Jabe Site Pardu Tengyorji. Savior of the Snowland teachings and transmigratory beings, who extensively clarifies the path that unifies emptiness and compassion. To the lotus holder, Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Tong yin rezong du jung pe lam cherse ganchen ten rugun chana bemo ten zingatso la so adem so je de. May all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. We can also recite this a second time, but I don't have the Tibetan, so I'll just say, may my mind and your mind be united inseparably. And then we'll do the swift return prayer for Lama Yeshe. Fearless teacher, an assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang, father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable, venerable Guru, to you I make requests. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss! Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great ways of bodhicitta, the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. And then Rinpoche suggested that we dedicate a request, a perfect, supremely capable, brilliant emanation, having all the capabilities and even beyond of the previous incarnation of Khyentse Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Well, that's it for now. We'll meet again at 1 o'clock. If yeah, we can hang out here for a bit. If anybody has comments, reactions, questions.
I have a small question. Can I ask?
Yes, please.
Because I'm not initiated. So what I did, I imagined Tara who's in front of me. But with regards to light rays, I imagined it's irradiating out and it's irradiating in all sentient beings, including me. Is this correct?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that I do it right.
Yeah, yeah. This is actually a well-known way of doing it. It's called the in-front generation. You can also imagine Tara above your head. And maybe we can clarify, I can ask Geshe, but I've heard him say before that even though we don't visualize our entire body as white Tara, we can visualize Tara's mantra at our heart, as well as the in-front generation.
Because I'm not initiated, I can imagine the mantra at my own heart.
Yes, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
You see yourself as ordinary, but you can see the Tara, the mantra in your heart. He said this before.
Oh, thank you so much.
I had a question as well.
Hi, Genoa.
I wondered where to visualize the protective drum, or what you call two hats together, relative in the space. Where exactly was that?
So it's the two hats with with wide brims, very wide brimmed hats, right? Or these two symbols which have kind of like a half sphere and then this long, this large brim. And so those become horizontal like this. And so the mantra, so the brim is this wheel with the spokes coming out, the sharp. So this is the one that's turning clockwise extremely quickly, that just cuts through all obstacles. So that's I have to say I'm also a little confused whether we see this within us in our heart, because you know this wheel, this cutting wheel that is, I think, at the edge of this hat or the circles. This is just completely cutting to tatters any kind of obstacles, right? It makes sense to me that that's outside of myself as White Tara, but I have to say I'm not entirely sure how one does that visualization. It's a good question.
Thanks.
But in terms of the layers of the white, yellow, red, blue, green, and purple, on the first day, on the 29th, Geshe said that we imagine all sentient beings inside this. And he's mentioned a couple of times that his guru, his uncle and guru, Khyentse Rinpoche Losang Delek, White Tara is his principal meditation deity. And Geshe said that many lamas have White Tara as their principal meditation deity. And you can kind of get a sense of how that could be very, very effective, because you're visualizing performing the activities of pacification, increase, power, destruction, the activities of all the Buddhas, as well as all of this being stabilized for all sentient beings who are inside this protection circle, and all of these activities, all these colors and activities. So that's kind of inspiring to think that this is, it's so widely appreciated. And I know that during pandemic, Geshe didn't do a formal retreat of White Tara, but he did a mantra accumulation. So most of what he did through the years of pandemic was White Tara mantra accumulation, which could indicate that when he says many lamas, he's including himself. Is the meaning of saying the constants explained anywhere, please? I haven't received a commentary on that, but to me, I think this represents reality as a construct, that everything's merely labeled. And so here are the building blocks of reality, consonants and vowels. That, to me, that kind of makes sense. But it'd be interesting to know.
We also heard from Annie yesterday that the syllables, the Sanskrit symbols, are blessings in and of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
She spoke a little bit about that yesterday, which she had heard from Rata Rinpoche, I think.
Right, yeah.
But, yeah.
In other contexts, isn't it also a purification of speech?
Yes. Yeah. Thanks. Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Yeah, Lama Rinpoche compiled a series of short practices that can be done every day. And one of them is a blessing of speech. So one can imagine on one's tongue. From an ah on your tongue comes a moon, and then in the center is an om, and then there's the syllables, white going clockwise, the consonants, red going counterclockwise, and the heart mantra dependent relation, blue clockwise on your tongue. And then as you recite these in turn, you imagine that nectar comes from each of these mantra wheels and purifies your body, purifies your speech, and purifies your mind. And then they dissolve into the om, which dissolves into the moon cushion, which becomes pink nectar, red and white drops. And then that dissolves at your tongue, which becomes the nature of a vajra, which represents emptiness, but also represents incredible stability. So that, we can use the blessings of the syllables and the consonants and the heart mantra of dependent relation to bless our speech in the morning.
Thank you for explaining that. In the text, it says the opposite. It says the counterclockwise is first, vowels, and counterclockwise is...
Yeah, slight variations. Yeah.
Okay, just variation. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it has to be just variations, I guess. Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Notice that at the end of many of these sadhanas is the inclusion of the 100-syllable mantra for the purpose of purifying mistakes.
Yeah.
Should we pay special attention to perform the specific version in the sadhana, or can we rely on whichever version of the 100-syllable mantra that we may prefer?
Yeah, So we may be quite familiar with one because of other practices we do. There are a great many varieties of the Vajrasattva mantra. The Padmasambhava is the lotus family, so that's appropriate in this practice. There's some that replace Vajra, like with Vajra with Padma, Vajra with Padma Haruka, Vajra with Haruka, Vajra with Yamantaka. Those are only the ones that I'm familiar with. There are probably others. So I think it's probably best to stick to because this is the Lotus family practice, then the Padma is there. I would recommend, cultivating the mindfulness to do Padma Sattva there.
Cool. Thanks.
Yep. Hey, Emily, you're unmuted. Did you have a comment or a question?
No.
No? Okay. All right, then. Let's call it a wrap. Thank you so much. Again, I think if Paula was here, should mention again how important it is for us to have really accurate images to do meditation with. And so would encourage us to make a donation to keep Ray's website up for a little while yet, since his vision now is gone and he's in retreat. He doesn't have the means to keep his website up, and his images for meditation are very good. So there was a link in the chat earlier.
I put it in again.
Okay, thank you.
The bottom. Yeah, his images are really beautiful. Really shame. Thank you so much, everyone. Well, Geshe Sonam will be here at 1 o'clock our time, Eastern Standard Time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Geshe
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 Sarva Mangalam.
What's that mean?
That's Sanskrit for may all be auspicious. I think it's pretty much the same as Tashidele.
Okay.
I hope you're feeling okay, Dekyi-Lee.
I'm sounding like Kermit.
I know you're getting more and more. Take care.